Hello friends, welcome to this series of clinical ground rounds in pulmonary medicine. Today we will see our case number 4, that is allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis or ABPA. This is a very common entity you are coming across in your OPD and ward routine practice. I am making this video in both languages, Hindi and English, so it can reach to maximum people. So let's see our real case. So he is Kallu. Kallu is a imaginary name, not real name. He is 21-year-old male, known patient of asthma for 5 years, taking inhalers. Now this time he has presented with increased breathlessness, cough, fever for 5 days. So as a routine, you will label as a acute attack of bronchial asthma. So same manner we have also diagnosed as acute severe asthma or asthma acute attack, and as a routine we have to manage with antibiotic and nebulization. Patient responded well, went to home. Again after 3 months he came back with similar symptoms like increased breathlessness, cough and fever. And if you do X-ray, if you see carefully, then you can pick many findings. If you are sitting in OPD seeing casually, then you can appreciate there is increased bronchovascular marking both sides. Okay, so this is routine X-ray, increased bronchovascular marking with suggestive of bronchitis or bronchial asthma. But this patient came back within 3 months with similar acute attack. So in such patient, we have to suspect other disease also. So question to resident or question to you, will you suspect any other disease? Yes, we have to suspect ABPA in these patients who are having bronchial asthma. Okay, why we should think ABPA in these patients of asthma? So this is based on large meta-analysis done by our own pulmonologist Dr. Ritesh Agarwal from PGI Chandigarh, and he has taken 25 subjects or 25,000 of bronchial asthma patients, and he found that there is 25.1% of asthma patients they are having Aspergillus sensitization. If I tell you Aspergillus is a fungal element which is there in our environment, and it is there in our the surrounding air. So we are inhaling lot of Aspergillus. This is no problem. But few patients, those who are hypersensitized or sensitized to allergic this Aspergillus, they may have complications. Okay, so these patients, those who are having allergy to Aspergillus, these are 25% of total asthma patient. Means if you see 100 asthma patient, 25 patient will have sensitive to Aspergillus, means allergic to Aspergillus. Okay, and if you see ABPA, in 100 patient of bronchial asthma, 11.3 patients will have ABPA. So by and large, 1/4 of asthma patient they have allergy to Aspergillus, and around 1/10 of patient they are having ABPA. So we have to screen these patients because ABPA is some disease which causes damage to lung. It causes bronchiectasis, slowly damaging the lung, and it will lead to respiratory failure, cor pulmonale, and ultimately death. So we have to screen these patients, and the conclusion of this meta-analysis that 1 in every 4 asthmatic patient having Aspergillus sensitization, and 1 patient out of 10 patients may have ABP. So this huge burden of Aspergillus in asthmatic patient. So we have to screen routinely. Routine screening, especially in specialized asthma or chest clinic. So we have to screen every and each patient of asthma which is coming to our tertiary care center or asthma clinic. This is the conclusion of this meta-analysis. Based on this meta-analysis, they have incorporated in guideline This is recent guideline published in European Respiratory Journal in this 2024. And according to this guideline, they recommend Aspergillus sensitization in all newly diagnosed asthmatic patient in tertiary care center in adult patient. But in pediatric patient, they recommend that Aspergillus sensitization only in those with difficult to treat asthma patient. Means if patient is adult, every asthma patient you have to do screening for ABPA. In pediatric age group, if patient is having difficult to treat asthma, then only you screen these patients for ABPA. This is the guideline published in 2024. So question is how to screen this patient for ABPA, or how to screen any asthma patient for ABPA. So we have two tests, total serum IgE and Aspergillus specific IgE. When we were resident, we used to see many prescriptions having total serum IgE. But remember, this is not used for screening of ABPA in asthma patient. Okay, so we have to do Aspergillus specific IgE for screening purpose. Okay, those areas, suppose patient is not affordable or some poor that area that this facility is not there, test is not there, we can do skin prick test with Aspergillus antigen. Aspergillus antigen is very cheap. One vial is coming, and in vial just you take one drop and that you do prick with the syringe, and you can see sensitivity. So this is very cheaper test, but the specific that sensitivity is up to 94% only. So something is better than nothing. So if you don't have Aspergillus specific IgE in your center, you can do skin prick test for Aspergillus, but you have to screen. There is no other choice, right? So which one to use? Aspergillus specific IgE. Why? Because it has sensitivity of 100%, means it will identify all patients of Aspergillus sensitization 100%, but specificity is 75%, means 1/4 of patient, those who have specific IgE positive, will not have Aspergillus sensitization, right? In contrast, total serum IgE, it has sensitivity of 100%, but specificity is 25% only. Means 75% of those patients who have total IgE positive will not have fungal sensitization. It has poor specificity. That's why screening test for of choice is Aspergillus specific IgE, not total IgE. Total IgE used for follow up, not for screening purpose. Then what to do for our patient, that is Kallu. So Kallu, if you remember, he is 21-year-old male, known asthmatic for 5 years on various inhalers, now came with acute attack. Okay, so as a routine, we screened this patient with Aspergillus fumigatus specific IgE, and level was higher than normal reference range. It was more than 0.35 uh, KUA per liter. So it is increase. So our patient is having Aspergillus sensitization. I am not telling he is having ABP or not. He is having Aspergillus sensitization. It means he is allergic to Aspergillus. Right? What to do next? Patient is Aspergillus sensitized. So remember, those patient who is having Aspergillus sensitization, send these for investigation. One is total serum IgE, one is second is eosinophilic count, third is Aspergillus specific IgG, and of course imaging HRCT thorax. So note down these 4 tests you have to send in all patients, those who are having Aspergillus sensitization. In our Kallu, we have sent all 4 investigation, and surprisingly, total IgE was raised is 650. Total eosinophilic count is more 880. As per specific IgE, G is more 350. Normal range is 0 to 200. And HRCT thorax. So HRCT thorax, you can see this is upper lobe cut, this is lower lobe cut. So upper lobe, you can appreciate there is cystic lesion, especially in hilar region. This is central bronchiectasis in upper lobe. If you see lower lobe, again you can appreciate there is cystic bronchiectasis. Okay, so in our patient, all four investigations were positive. Now, how to diagnose ABPA? So to diagnose ABPA, we have to follow this guideline. This is diagnostic criteria given by Isham AWG diagnostic criteria in 2024. So according to this criteria, patients should have predisposing condition like asthma or bronchiectasis or cystic fibrosis and few patients of COPD. So if patient is having any risk factor or any predisposing condition along with certain investigations like two essential criteria like Aspergillus specific IgE, which is also used for screening purpose. Already our patient is having this increased total serum IgE specific for Aspergillus. Serum total IgE more than 500. Okay, so previously this was 1000. Now they have reduced to 500 to increase sensitivity. Other criterias, we have to see these three criteria, and out of three criteria, two should be positive. Like eosinophilic count is more than 500. Previously it was 1000. Now it is 500. Total or serum IgG positive for Aspergillus specific Aspergillus fumigatus IgG, it should be positive. And third is characteristic radiological abnormalities. If I talk about radiological abnormality in CT scan thorax, there should be bronchiectasis, mucus plugging, or HEM, high attenuated mucus. If you are following with X-ray, X-ray you can appreciate fitting opacities. Means today patient is having right upper lobe consolidation. After 3 months, it changed to left side or right lower lobe. So opacity should change. That is fitting opacities. So out of these three criteria, two should be positive. So according to this criteria, our patient is positive for ABPA. If I talk about HEM is very good sign or pathognomonic sign for ABPA. If you find HEM sign in CT scan, you are almost 100% sure that patient is having ABPA. So this is very good sign for ABPA. So these are the chain of investigation, how to screen our patient. We have to screen our patient with this specific IgE. If it is positive, we have to get all four investigation to diagnose ABP. And according to or based on CT scan, we have to classify ABP in 5 class. ABP S when CT scan is normal, but there is increase in IgE. ABPA B for bronchiectasis. Previously, it was CB, central bronchiectasis, but now latest literature or latest publication says bronchiectasis can involve peripheral area also. It is not confined to center area. So it is bronchiectasis. ABP MP when CT scan finding is having mucus plugging. ABPA HEM high attenuated mucus. This is pathognomic for ABPA. Then ABPA CPF chronic pulmonary fibrosis. So if you see CT scan, in first CT scan there is no abnormality. So this is ABPA S. In second CT picture you can see bronchiectasis. So this is ABPA B. In third you can see there is mucus plugging on right lower lobe. This is ABPA MP. In fourth also this is ABPA MP. This is mucus plugging. In fifth you can see there is mucus plugging, again mucus plugging, but it's a white color, more white, more bright. This is its same density as paraspinal muscle. This is ABPA HEM, which is very pathognomic for ABPA. Again this is HEM sign. CPF chronic pulmonary fibrosis. You can see there's lot of reticulations. If you see carefully, you can see traction bronchiectasis also. This is end stage of ABPA. So coming to our patient Kallu, he is diagnosed as ABPA B for bronchiectasis, newly diagnosed patient. Okay. So question is, how will you treat this patient? So this is Kallu, 21-year-old male having asthma, came as ABPA positive. So we need to treat both asthma part and ABPA part. Okay. So mainstay of treatment of ABPA is steroid, because in beginning I told you this is allergic to Aspergillus fumigatus. So for any allergy, drug of choice is steroid. Okay. In some patients, we can give itraconazole, especially in those patients who are not tolerating steroid or any complication or contraindication of steroid, we can use itraconazole. But remember, especially when you are going to start steroid, so remember we have to rule out acute exacerbation of bronchiectasis, because clinically it looks like a ABPA. Okay, so how to see exacerbation of bronchiectasis? In bronchiectasis, you will have purulent sputum. Culture of sputum will show organism like Pseudomonas or Klebsiella. Patient will have high TLC and patient will have high grade fever. So if you are dealing with acute exacerbation of bronchiectasis, don't start steroid. First, stabilize patient. Okay. In ABPA patient, how to start steroid is easy to remember. We have to start prednisolone 0.5 milligram per kg for 1 month. Then half the dose 0.25 for another 1 month. Then for another 1 month 1.125. Then taper every 5 mg every 2 weeks till discontinuation. So more or less treatment is for 4 months or 16 weeks. 0.5, 0.25, 0.125, then 5 milligram taper and discontinue in 4 months. Our patient of Kallu is weight 60 kg. So we have to give prednisolone. So 0.5 milligram per kg, that is 30 milligram per kg for 1 month, 15 milligram per kg for 1 month, 7.5 for 1 month, then 5 milligram for 15 days, 5 milligram alternate day for 15 days. So this is our steroid plan for our patient. So this is prescription by us for this patient, and prescription may be different for you, and it may be different for other physician, but this is my prescription. We have given antibiotic for 7 days, prednisolone. Asthma control, we have given asthma control ICS lava. And remember, those patients whom you are starting steroid, you have to give prophylaxis with vitamin D3, aldronate to prevent osteoporosis, and omeprazole for gastritis purpose. Okay, our patient, as of now, patient is stable. His shortness of breath and cough reduced, fever subsided, and discharged after 5 days. Okay, so story doesn't end here. We have to follow the patient, because ABPA is a disease which affect lung parenchyma. So it is causing destruction of lung. So we have to follow carefully this patient. So we have started treatment. Now we have to follow up. So follow up we see next class. So next CGR we will follow this patient. So if you like this video, please like it, share with your friends, and if you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe it. See you in next video, and we will follow this patient. Thank you very much.